Hey, hi, Peter, Watch Retrospect. Thanks for stopping by. Today I want to talk about a certain watch, but I purposely right now have two in the frame, and I'm just doing this. We're going to talk about the Orient Kamasu here on my right here, but before we do that, I have these two watches in the frame to kind of convey a point about kind of really how cool this watch hobby is and how you can sit there and have a $6,000 to $7,000 watch. This is a Rolex Explorer 114270. Oh, they're about what 6 to 7 grand in the market today, somewhere around there, which is heck on the low tier for a Rolex. But it's almost entry level for crying out loud. Still a great iconic watch. This one's 36. Last of the 36s before they started messing around with the with the sizes and went to the 39. This is the last iteration before they went to the 39 Rolex. But anyway, again, I'm just showing that to convey that even though one of this watch here is maybe 30 times less in value, you can buy these between $200 to $300, depending who you buy it from. That when it comes to what really counts, the priceless category, they're equal. I get just as much a smile when every time I look and put this watch on as I do putting on this Rolex. And I think that's an amazing thing. And it's just so cool how you don't have to spend a lot of money. You don't have to spend a lot of money to get an outstanding watch that you can really enjoy. There's a lot of videos on this Orient Kamasu, there's more. If you're watching this one, you've obviously seen other ones. And everybody talks about this watch as just being one of the best budget divers ever. And all this video is to really confirm that's how I feel too. It's a quick look at it. It is pretty much a tick under 42 case. Probably the closest thing I have as far as a case design, as far as being a little Submariner-ish, as far as just having these, the way the profile sides are, plus they're polished and they have the brush top on the lugs, which is pretty standard. But closest thing I have, I would say, to like a Submariner dimensions in the way it fits. This is it's a little bit under 13 millimeters thick. It feels maybe a little top heavy compared to some of my other watches, but all in all, the way this fits, the dimensions of it are really outstanding. It fits very well. I've had Submariners in my days, and this thing fits. This thing fits similar. Now, when you get to the dial and the handset, it's a completely different creature, and I think that is the beauty of this watch. Is personally, I think the handset's one of my favorites. It's I have maybe a dozen watches, and this particular handset is certainly one of my favorites. It's nicely, highly polished. See if we can get some look there. And even in their literature, Orient kind of describe them as a teeth-like. The Orient Kamasu means in Japanese, Kamasu is barracuda, and they talk about their handset being similar to barracuda's teeth. So there you go. That's what they say in their own site. But it's a really nice handset, really well executed. Amazing that you can buy this watch for $200 when I look at that handset. The indices are nice applied indices. Pretty good loom. Pretty good loom. Doesn't last real long, but it is good and very reactive where the sunlight hits it and it ignites it pretty much immediately. So it's very good. For a dive watch, it does what it should do. You do not get too many day-date watches at this price level, and that's another feature I really love it. I think they really execute it quite well. I love the way they do red Sunday. That's pretty standard on a day-date watch, I would think, that the Sunday's in red. And I just like that. It kind of adds to the secondhand tip. And it just, I don't know. It's funny because I will always wear this watch at some point on Sundays just because of that. It really is one of my favorite watches. And I just marvel at it because it really is the least expensive watch that I own out of the dozen that I do own. But there's just so much about this. There's a more quick look here. One of my least favorite features of this, and it's been documented before in other videos, is the crown. The crown's a little awkward. You got this crown guard. It looks more like the top of a castle wall. There was a soldier peeking his head through. And also, it's just how small the crown is. It just is kind of not. It's like the crown guards are bigger than the crown itself. So it's a little awkward, but you know what? You pick up how to do it pretty quickly, and it's not even an issue to me really anymore. But it is probably the most awkward part of the watch. I think that could have been executed a little bit better. The bezel's got kind of what I described like almost like a Seiko-ish type edge to it. Obviously, an aluminum insert in blue. One thing I think this bezel is, it's rock solid. I mean, there is no back play in it at all. I mean, it's crazy solid. It's a little, it does not extend over the case. The case is wider than the bezel. You know, some dive watches, sometimes they extend the bezel a little bit just so you have a better purchase area. And I do find it a little slippery. But what I learned is, you know, you see the Arabic numbers at the tens, but at the 5-minute markings, they have these little notches right there in the bezel. And what I figured out was I almost stick my fingernail in there. And that kind of gives me a little bit more of a purchase area. And it actually helps in the gripping of it. So that's how I alleviate it. You can grab it on the sides. It's just a little slippery, but it does line up perfectly. And there is no back play whatsoever. I mean, it is solid, 120 click. So it's definitely, say it's the best bezel I have, but it's pretty outstanding for the price level. Sapphire crystal, pretty much flush. It's actually recessed ever so lightly. It's so smally. It's the insert, the blue insert kind of comes up, and that thickness of that insert kind of is above the crystal. But it is a sapphire crystal. Another awesome thing about this watch, it has an in-house movement. How many watches have an in-house movement at this price level? 6922 Orient movement, 40 hours of reserve, winds nice and smoothly. This watch is a watch because it is a day date. I keep it running all the time. This one is ran constantly since I've owned it for 8-9 months or so. But outstanding watch. One thing I want to talk about too, this does come with a band that is very similar to this. It comes with this style bracelet from the factory. They have a 22 millimeter lug width here. So the factory, the OEM bracelet, which is the same style, is 20. It doesn't taper at all. This is an aftermarket. This is the Miltat, which they go by the strap code name. I know they market it as a strap code, but I know it says Miltat on the back of it. These are outstanding bracelets you can pick up for like about $90, and it gives you the solid end link. These come with the bracelet has a pretty sure, if I recall, it's a hollow end link on there from the factory one. But for another $90 on top of the watch, the cost of the watch really elevates the feel of this watch. Because $200-300 watch, the bracelet's not going to be, as good as like $1,000 watch. But this bracelet easily is. This is a very, very, very nice bracelet. So worth the upgrade if you get one of these Kamasus. And this is made specifically for the Kamasu. So that solid end link is tailored just for the Kamasu specifically. And it fits really good. And like I said, elevates the feel of the watch. So definitely worth doing that. But I don't know. These are, like I said, there's so many things online about how wonderful these watches are. They are definitely one of the best deals out there. And personally, I think I don't care if you have a drawer full of APs and gold Rolexes, if you couldn't put this watch in your hand and realize how affordable it is and not appreciate it, then I don't know, maybe you fall in a category of a watch snob. But I don't care what you have in your collection. I think unless you really hate dive watches, everybody should have one of these Orient Kamasus. I mean, that's just my own feeling, but they are outstanding. So definitely, if you're interested in again, just having a classic, to me, this is a classic watch in all collections. It really is. But if you're just new to the hobby and want to get into your first automatic watch, this is definitely a great candidate. And again, it's beautiful that you have that sapphire crystal. I don't have a scratch on this watch, and I've owned it for, like I said, about 8-9 months or so. And they're just well documented, the deal that these are, being such a budget diver. Great indices, great handset. That to me is just what sets it really apart. and you put this on your wrist, you feel good. You feel proud about it. I don't care. It brings a smile to my face as much as any of my watches, and I think that's just what's the coolest thing about this whole hobby is that you don't need a lot of money to really enjoy it and to appreciate things that are just of high value and very well constructed and are anybody can buy them. I mean, anybody can afford a $200 watch, I'm hoping. And this one is definitely right there on the list. But hey, I really appreciate you stopping by. Orient Kamasu comes in many different colors for you to choose from, but check them out. You can buy them direct from Orient. You'll pay a little bit more, but you will get that full warranty with them, with their service center here in Southern California. You can buy them on the gray market for $200, but just be sure that whoever you're buying it from is able to warranty it. It only has a year warranty on it, so it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, you can pick these up for $200. Pretty crazy. But hey, really appreciate you stopping by. This watch, highly recommended. And again, thank you for stopping by. Peter from Watch Retrospect. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.